Based on recent developments, including the former president's announcement that he is a candidate for president in the next election, and the sitting president's stated intention to be a candidate as well, I have concluded that it is in the public interest to appoint a special counsel. Today, I signed an order appointing Jack Smith to serve as special counsel.
Good afternoon. Today, an indictment was unsealed, charging Donald J. Trump with felony violations of our national security laws, as well as participating in a conspiracy to obstruct justice. We have one set of laws in this country, and they apply to everyone.
So I want to tell you a little bit about this prosecutor, Jack Smith, who I call Jack the Ripper Smith. He's a very bad guy. He's had two major defeats when it came to public corruption cases when he headed the public integrity section of the criminal division over at the Department of Justice. He was the big Mahaf, and he blew these cases.
Collecting facts, that's what determines the outcome of an investigation. Nothing more and nothing less.
The Espionage Act from 1917 to last week was never, ever used against a former president or a former vice president or even a former cabinet secretary. That was never the intention. The law is 106 years old. It was not intended to be used this way to criminalize document cases, whether the documents are classified or not.
The prosecutors in my office are among the most talented and experienced in the Department of Justice. They have investigated this case hewing to the highest ethical standards, and they will continue to do so as this case proceeds.
So there never should have been a grand jury on the documents case, ever. There should never have been a violation of attorney-client privilege under the crime-fraud exception. It should never have occurred. There should never have been a search warrant. There should never have been FBI SWAT team raid on President Trump's house. If the government really felt it had to do something about all this, they follow the civil track. They go to a judge. You can go to the judge who issued an order and say, okay, we need civil contempt. You need to hold these lawyers and you need to hold them in contempt. They never did that. They didn't follow that route. Why? Because they want to put Donald Trump in prison. That's why.
Jack Smith lacks standing to bring this legal action against Donald Trump because Merrick Garland's appointment of him was not based on any statutory authority granted to the Office of the Attorney General. Again, that's just one argument to throw into the mix.
This other claim that Trump's made, that the special counsel, that Jack Smith is unlawfully appointed, and therefore the special counsel receiving funds is a violation of the law, and therefore the whole case should be dismissed. It's an absolutely completely frivolous argument, but Judge Cannon's going to be hearing a full day of oral argument on that.
Are U.S. attorneys nominated by the President and confirmed by the Senate according to this appointments clause?
They are appointed by the President, confirmed by the Senate.
Was Jack Smith nominated by President Biden or confirmed by the U.S. Senate?
Look, you're asking me about a case, again, motions filed.
This is a simple question.
No, I'm not.
Was Jack Smith nominated by President Biden?
No, he was not.
Was he confirmed by the Senate?
No, he was not.
When was the special counsel statute passed?
There is no special counsel statute. There was an independent counsel statute that was expired.
What gives you the authority to appoint a special counsel? You've created an office in the U.S. government that does not exist without authorization from Congress.
The matter that you're talking about whether somebody can have an employee of the Justice Department serve as special counsel has been adjudicated.
You appealed, let me interrupt for a second, because you appealed to a regulation, a rule, whereas the Constitution says shall be established by law.
Yeah, the statutes.
Right, the statute, but you referred to a regulation, not to U.S. code.
Trump thought that he was just going to walk into Judge Eileen Cannon's court today and be greeted as a victor with his ridiculous motion to dismiss on the grounds that the special counsel, Jack Smith, was unlawfully appointed.
All right, breaking news. This just into the newsroom. The judge overseeing Trump's classified documents case has dismissed the case.
Breaking news, because the federal classified documents case against former President Trump has now been dismissed. Judge Aileen Callanan made that ruling, saying the special counsel's appointment, the appointment of special counsel Jack Smith, was unconstitutional.
An absolutely completely frivolous argument, but
and the bottom line is this: the Appointments Clause requires in the Constitution that someone like Jack Smith, according to the court, be appointed by the DOJ or by the executive branch, but it must be confirmed by the Senate. And so the argument there is that this violates that portion of the Constitution because Jack Smith was not appointed through this procedure. And the judge essentially says, Congress, there's a way to do this. And you could appoint Jack Smith the way all U.S. attorneys are appointed.
Trump thought that he was just going to walk into Judge Aileen Cannon's court today and be greeted as a victor with his ridiculous motion to dismiss.
This is an enormous victory for the former president and his legal team.
An absolutely, completely frivolous argument.
So this is a major win for Donald Trump personally and for his team as he seeks re-election in, my gosh, what has been an absolute surreal few days here involving Donald Trump, Marnie.
The appropriations for the special counsel was also unlawful, and as a result, the whole proceedings are a sham and should be dismissed. I think Donald Trump and his lawyers were in for a bit of a surprise on Friday.
The judge fully agreed with former President Trump's defense attorneys that the appointment of special counsel Jack Smith by Attorney General Merrick Garland was unconstitutional. They said only Congress should be allowed to authorize the appointment of someone of Smith's stature.
Completely frivolous argument.
Only Congress is allowed to authorize the funding for an investigation.
Be greeted as a victor with his ridiculous motion to dismiss.
It was almost a legal long shot to say that the special counsel had been wrongly appointed, but Judge Cannon now agreeing with them.
Donald Trump and his lawyers were in for a bit of a surprise.
This is, without a doubt, a huge break for Donald Trump and the Trump campaign.
Completely frivolous argument.
I mean, it's hard to almost underscore what a win this is for him, obviously.
With his ridiculous motion to dismiss.
That's right. And it appears that Donald Trump and his attorneys are going to pull the political equivalent of an inside straight in poker here. I mean, just an absolutely unbelievable run of luck or skilled lawyering, depending on how you want to look at it here.
Completely frivolous argument.
Judge Cannon writing in her decision, special counsel Smith's prosecution of this action breaches two structural cornerstones of our constitutional scheme. This means that the prosecution of former President Trump, she said, over his handling of classified documents cannot go forward.
With his ridiculous motion to dismiss.
And it now means the former president will not be prosecuted over his efforts to allegedly hoard classified material.
Let's be clear about this. This was a long shot of an effort by the Trump legal team to get this case thrown out by saying that special counsels are not constitutional. And here you have Judge Cannon issuing this shocking order, effectively killing this investigation on the first day of the Republican National Committee. It's really quite amazing. And by the way, let's not forget, this is the special counsel investigation into the classified documents case, but it's not. Jack Smith's also got a separate special counsel investigation into January 6th.
I've covered politics for a long time, and I have never seen such an incredible sort of month-long lucky streak by a politician, whether it starts with the immunity ruling by the Supreme Court, surviving an assassination attempt, to now having another case thrown out on the moment his convention is expected to open. An extraordinary moment in our politics.
Yeah.
We very much look forward to presenting our case to a jury of citizens in the Southern District of Florida.